In a large, fading mansion at the edge of an unnamed South American country, an old woman sits surrounded by notebooks filled with memories. She writes to keep her family's past alive, a story of love and cruelty, of spirits and politics, of hope and despair. That woman is Alba Truba, and the story she tells begins long before her birth, with her grandmother Clara del Valle, a girl who could move objects with her mind and speak to spirits. Clara was born into the wealthy and respected del Valle family. Even as a child, she possessed a strange gift: she could see the future, talk to ghosts, and make the furniture move by itself. Her parents adored her but feared her powers. Her gentle sister Rosa the Beautiful was the pride of the family, a girl so stunning that people said angels would stop to look at her. Clara loved her sister deeply, until tragedy struck. One day, as the family prepared for Rosa's engagement to a young miner named Esteban Truba, a glass of poisoned wine meant for Clara was mistakenly drunk by Rosa. She died instantly. The household was shattered. Clara, traumatized, fell silent and did not speak for 9 long years. Rosa's fiancé, Esteban Truba, was crushed by her death. Determined to rebuild his fortune, he went to his family's old estate, Las Tres Marias, a ruined property in the countryside. Through sheer willpower, hard labor, and often harsh treatment of the poor workers, Esteban restored the land to prosperity. But his ambition made him cruel. He ruled with an iron hand, feared and hated by the peasants. He never forgot Rosa, but he longed for a family. When he returned to the city years later, he saw Clara, now a grown woman who had just begun to speak again. She had calmly written in her notebook, "I am going to marry Esteban Truba." And she did. Clara and Esteban's marriage was a union of opposites, reason and magic, order and chaos. Esteban loved Clara deeply but could not understand her spiritual world. She spent her days talking to ghosts, hosting seances, and helping the poor who came to her door. Esteban built her a massive house, the big house on the corner, filled with corridors, hidden rooms, and endless noise. Their home became a living symbol of their lives, beautiful yet haunted, full of love and pain. They had 3 children, Blanca, Jamie, and Nicholas. Blanca was quiet and kind, often playing with the peasant children at Las Tres Marias, especially one boy, Pedro Tercero Garcia, the son of a worker. As the years passed, Blanca and Pedro Tercero grew from playmates into lovers. He was idealistic and bold, inspired by dreams of equality. He wrote songs about freedom and justice, songs that the peasants sang in secret. When Esteban discovered the affair, his fury was unstoppable. He sent Blanca away, nearly killed Pedro, and burned the workers' homes. But love does not die so easily. In secret, Blanca gave birth to a daughter, Alba, the child of forbidden love. Clara remained the heart of the family. Her love softened Esteban's cruelty again and again. But as years wore on, she grew sick and frail. Before she died, she told her husband, "You will be very lonely, and you will find me in your dreams." After her death, the house fell silent. Esteban locked himself away, haunted by her presence, and indeed, Clara's spirit remained, guiding those she loved. The twin sons of Esteban and Clara followed different destinies. Jamie became a doctor, serious, compassionate, devoted to the poor. Nicholas was a dreamer, fascinated by meditation, yoga, and spiritual experiments. Jamie's kindness often put him at odds with his father's right-wing political views. Esteban believed in tradition and power, Jamie believed in justice and equality. The ideological tension in the family mirrored the country's growing political unrest. As the nation drifted toward social upheaval, Pedro Tercero Garcia became a famous revolutionary and union organizer. He worked to free the peasants Esteban had once ruled. Esteban, now an old senator, despised everything Pedro represented. But fate continued to tie their families together through Blanca and Alba, who grew up strong, intelligent, and full of compassion like her grandmother Clara. Alba loved her grandfather deeply, even when she disagreed with him. She grew up listening to both sides, the harsh voice of Esteban, and the gentle whisper of her mother Blanca's memories. Political conflict exploded into a violent coup. The socialist president, inspired by hope and equality, was overthrown by the military with support from the elite. Soldiers filled the streets. Fear and betrayal poisoned every household. Esteban, who had once supported the military's rise, now saw the horror it unleashed. His friend Senator Truba became a man broken by guilt. Alba, like her uncle Jamie before her, worked to help the persecuted and poor. She hid people escaping the dictatorship, smuggled letters, and spoke against injustice. One night, soldiers came for her. She was arrested and taken to a secret prison. There, she was beaten and tortured by a brutal officer, Esteban Garcia, the grandson of one of the women Esteban Truba had abused in his youth. Through his cruelty, history came full circle, the sins of the past returning to punish the present. In the darkness of her cell, Alba remembered her grandmother's words, "Fear is useless. Love is stronger." She prayed to Clara's spirit, who appeared in her dreams and told her to forgive. And somehow, Alba survived. When she was finally released, Alba returned to the big house on the corner. The house was nearly empty now, her mother in exile, her grandfather old and frail. Esteban wept when he saw her, filled with shame for all he had done. Alba forgave him. She told him, "We are all victims of our own history." In his last days, Esteban Truba finally made peace, with his daughter Blanca, with the memory of Clara, and with the spirits that filled the house. He died quietly, holding Alba's hand, whispering that he could see Clara waiting for him. Alba continued to write, filling notebook after notebook, just as Clara had done. Through writing, she kept her family's story alive, every joy, every sorrow, every ghost that ever walked their halls. She understood that the past never truly dies, it lives on through memory, through forgiveness, and through love. At the novel's end, Alba writes, "I have discovered that in memory everything happens twice, once in reality, and once again in our hearts. The house, though haunted, still stands, a witness to generations of love, cruelty, and resilience. It is no longer merely a home but a symbol of Chile itself, a land torn between light and darkness, yet always alive with the spirits of those who dreamed. The house is more than a building, it is the soul of a family and a nation. Its rooms echo with laughter, pain, and whispers of the dead. Every door hides a secret, every window opens onto memory. Through all the chaos of time, one truth remains. What is lost can be found again through love, remembrance, and the courage to forgive."